Thanks. Hi, I'm Lucy James. I played 17 hours of Expedition 33 in 2 days. Do I regret it? No. Am I a little bit resentful to be here instead of playing it right now? Just a scooch. Yeah, I love Expedition 33. Haven't finished it yet, but if it keeps up the momentum, I think it might be an all-time favorite of mine, which I know is huge. I know potential recency bias, whatever. There has to be something, right? There has to be something coming up that I don't love. No, it is just excellent. And so I guess to start with, it is a game where every year this mysterious person called the Paintress paints a number every year, and it is basically descending in years, and everyone that age will die. So there is a thing called the Expedition. The last year of these people's lives, they will go to the continent where the Paintress is to try and stop her, to stop this weird death painting thing that she has going on. You play as the Expedition 33. So these are all people who are giving their lives, their last year of life, in this very courageous and very noble cause to try and prevent the death for other people. So there are some great characters in there, and the thing is that I don't want to spoil, there are some incredible twists and turns in the story. I don't want to spoil anything, but basically everyone there is the same age except for one in the initial expedition group that you have, and that is Mael, who is 16, who is kind of like the ward, the sister, the kind of adopted relative of Gustav, who is kind of the main guy played by Charlie Cox. So in terms of the story, that is the setup. Throughout it all, you kind of find out all of the expedition members' own unique reasons for wanting to go through with this quest and why they joined the expedition. And I am not ashamed to admit that I have cried multiple times already, which is actually kind of rare for me when it comes to video games. I don't typically cry. However, I think it is a real testament to how well this story and how well it is acted, because my God, there are some big names in there. I mentioned Charlie Cox, we got Jennifer English, Andy Serkis, Ben Starr, a lot of incredible names in there, and how well it is acted. It makes it a journey that I am absolutely loving and I'm really all in on. That's the story part of it. And again, I don't want to spoil too much, but I do want to talk about the combat, because when I was talking about it with other members of the GameSpot team, I said some big words. I said, I think it might be my favorite turn-based combat system of all time. And you know what? I'm gonna stand by that. I'm gonna stick to my guns and say that it is, because first of all, it's inspired by Sekiro. A lot of it is inspired by Sekiro in terms of the fact that it is a reactionary system. You are not just kind of sat there with your controller, like hitting a button and then just waiting for your party member to do the move and then you go on to the next one, right? This is such an engaging way of approaching turn-based combat because there are quick time events in there, but also parries and counterattacks. And that is where stuff gets really, really fun and you have the most potential to do the most damage. So you have a party, each of them plays so differently. There are so many different abilities, even different ways of obtaining abilities. There's one character who only obtains new abilities after they have defeated a certain enemy types, and they, let's just say, take a trophy, and that is what helps them unlock new moves. And when you get that character, you will quickly understand why they are one of my favorites to play as in battle. My God. So Lune, your mage, you have Shiel, who has a really unique way of basically kind of applying marks on enemies, and then kind of sun and moon marks have been applied. You go into this twilight zone where basically you kind of do extra damage based on how many foretell cards you've applied. I'm doing a terrible job of explaining it. However, the point I was going to make is that a lot of the characters require you to be thinking 2-3 turns in advance. So whenever Lune the mage uses an elemental ability, what is known as a stain is left, and then you can use those stains to power up different abilities. And so with all of them, you are kind of thinking, okay, what am I doing this round? What am I doing this turn? What am I going to be doing next turn, the turn after that? How can I best synergize all of these abilities to make it something truly powerful and get me through this battle? When it comes to the dodging and parrying, you can dodge, don't get me wrong. However, whenever you dodge, it's kind of, that's the more lenient in terms of reaction time, and so you can get out the way. However, you can do a perfect dodge, which can sometimes give you AP back, which are your ability points, but what you really want to be doing is parrying. And that is where stuff feels so good because you can be, and I have been, really struggling on the back foot of a boss fight, and then I parry, I land a counterattack, and one of my characters had like buffed counterattacks, so he got a bunch of AP back, he did a hell of a lot of damage, and I won the fight, and it was the most triumphant feeling. I said it at the preview, and I will say it again here. Landing a counterattack in this is so much better than landing a parry or a riposte in any FromSoft game. I know, that's huge. I'm really sorry. Sorry. I do mean it though. I really do mean it. Also, within that combat system, there are like these passives that you get. You find these Pictos. And so by mastering them, i.e. using them for 4 battles, they basically unlock for all your other party members. So you can really get some really cool not broken, but like some really powerful builds together by swapping around that system a lot. There's just so much in there that makes it really enticing. And I love getting into scraps in games, but I have never played a combat system like this where I am eager to jump into the next fight. Like I'm constantly looking for a fight. I will go through every area and clean up every single optional fight. And there are a lot of optional bosses and stuff in there too. I think the word confident is the thing that I keep coming back to, and I've said it multiple times. The team is a French team, and it's a very French game.
Whoa, how French?
How French is it? First of all, you can unlock unlockables where you are wearing the typical striped shirt with onions around the neck with a little beret. But also, yeah, like in the trailer, you even see a kind of ruined Eiffel Tower, and they all kind of swear in French too, so it's very French.
So are there like baguettes, croissants, butter, cheese?
I think, is a baguette's one of the cosmetic things? I think the outfit is called baguette. I'd have to double check, but it's very French. Like you play it, you'll just see how French it is, all right? But yeah, the word confident is the thing that I keep coming back to. And the team, like, got to spend some time with them in Tokyo. So first of all, they have come, for a lot of the team, it is their first game. At least the core team at Sandfall, which is about 30 people, they're the ones in France. Or a lot of them have worked on like a few AAA games in the past in different roles. But they love JRPGs. Like we walked around Tower Records in Akihabara with them, and they were like, every game that they were pulling off the shelves, they were like, played this, loved this. Expedition 33 to me feels like people who really understand those type of games and what makes them really compelling. So even, when you get to the Gestural village, and Gestrals are these kind of like funny, weird little guys that live on the continent, and then you kind of have like an arena side arc where you have to prove yourself. It just feels very, not tropey, but it's something that you would expect from something like a Final Fantasy. They really just understand what makes JRPGs work, both when it comes to the engaging, like the combat, how it looks, the art direction, which is unbelievable. It's a beautiful game, but also the music. The music I have had in my head the whole time, and I've just been kind of humming it, and it is really beautiful. I think they said the composer was one of the first people they actually hired for the project. I think you can really tell the way that it is interwoven throughout the game. So I think overall you can tell that I'm really, really enjoying Expedition 33. I haven't felt so effusive about a game in a very long time. I was texting people who I knew were playing it to be like, did you get to this bit yet? Or did you do this? Or, I just want to be talking about it with people. I really hope it keeps it up, because if it manages to keep up this momentum, I really hope it does, I think it could be like a top 5 for me full time, because it just does collect everything that I love about video games. So I think you should play it. That's my spiel.